Hi, my name is Janice Bihanabas, and in our preliminary reflection about our learning the history as a discipline, we will share our knowledge about history.
Good day, sir. I'm Jailord Pirosonabe, BE Ed 1C, and we're going to discuss our reflection from Module 1. After reading the Module 1, I learned that history is historiography. The writing of history, specifically the writing of history based on the critical examination of sources, meaning that is fact and the truth of the past. I learned that history has played various roles in the past. History can be used as a tool to legitimize regimes and forge a sense of collective identity through collective memory, and history as a lesson from the past that is very helpful to make a sense on a thing in our present. I learned in that the study of history became relevant to every people's lives. I learned that history systematically studies past accounts of people, group of peoples, and past events. I learned that history does not limit to documents because even if there's no document, doesn't mean that walang mapapagtunay na totoo na yung kasaysayan na nangyari. Oral traditions also count as history, just like what Janice learned after reading the module. And I also learned the differences of history and historiography. The history objective is to study the past itself, like past events, past people, and etc. And the most important is the cause and effect that happened particularly in the past. And the historiography is the story of history.
As we know, history is the study of things that happened in the past. History can be very recent or it can extend back to the earliest times from which any sort of records can be obtained. It is necessary to understand the culture of the people among whom who took place and that of any other countries which could have affected the event. An understanding of history can only be obtained by piecing together the knowledge from a whole range of sources to provide a broad picture. Our knowledge of the past comes from a wide range of sources of information. Sometimes, historians record their own version of recent history. Other information is obtained from material that was written down and contained passing references to people and events. History can sometimes be reconstructed even though information was never written down. For example, myths and legends containing historical truths can survive for hundreds of years, and the remains of some buildings can tell us how people lived in particular times. The first true historians were ancient Greeks who wrote long accounts about historical events. However, they also wove fanciful events into their stories to make them more interesting, and it is sometimes difficult to separate truth and inventions. The problem with ancient historians is that they put across a particular viewpoint. Often they were trying to glorify a local king or ruler. Sometimes a straightforward account of a particular event was written down. For example, Viking explorers recorded their voyages. In more recent times, detailed diaries provide a valuable source of information. Some modern history has been deliberately rewritten for political reasons. History is still happening all around us, and local history is an important field of study. It shows how ordinary people live and work. It is not difficult to find out what happened in your own area in the recent past. The subject of history can help us develop our skills and transform us to be a better version of ourselves as a citizen, a student, and a person overall. That's all. Thank you.